My feathers. They're still so soft. They say they're supposed to be strong, like my mom's. She used to preen them for me, nestled warm and safe under her wing. She told me stories of the great green canopy, the sun filtering through the leaves like 1,000 sparkling jewels. She said one day I'd fly there with her. I'd learn the songs of the forest, the calls of our family. I remember the scent of rain on the leaves, the taste of sweet berries she'd bring me. It feels like a dream now. A dream I can't quite hold on to. Everything was sound and light and warmth. Then darkness. A rough feeling. Not like my mother's touch. Loud noises that weren't the forest's song. I was cold. I called for her. My little chirps getting lost in the chaos. I felt other bodies, small and trembling like me. We were all calling for our mothers, but they never came. I don't remember much after that. Just shaking and fear. A deep, cold fear that I didn't have a word for. When the light came back, it wasn't the sun through the leaves. It was harsh and strange. The air didn't smell like rain or flowers. It was stale and smelled of things I didn't know. The floor was hard and cold, not the soft wood of our nest. Primera, bars. I pressed my face against them, looking for the green, for my home. But there was only gray walls, gray floors. Everything was gray. I was so confused. Where was the sky? Where were the trees? There were other birds, but we didn't sing. We just huddled together, our eyes wide. We were all so young. Some of us still had our baby fluff. We didn't know how to find food for ourselves. We didn't know how to preen our own feathers properly. We were just waiting for something to make sense. A kind hand would sometimes bring us seeds. The hand was big and gentle, but it wasn't my mother's beak. It wasn't the food she brought. Still, we were hungry, so we ate. Days and nights blurred into one long, confusing moment. I'd close my eyes and try to remember the feeling of the wind under my wings. Even though I'd never truly flown, I'd try to recall my father's deep, rumbling call that meant everything was safe. Sometimes I'd hear a faint echo of it in my head, and I'd call back a small, hopeful peep. But the only answer was silence, or the rustling of other scared little birds. I started to hear new sounds. Words, not the clicks and whistles of my family, but something else. Rounder, softer sounds. Hello, pretty bird. I didn't understand what they meant. I would just tilt my head and listen. It was something to focus on, something other than the 4 gray walls. I tried to copy them. Hello? The sound felt strange in my beak. But when I said it, the kind hand would come closer. It would give me a treat. So I kept practicing. Pretty bird. It was a game. A way to pass the time. A way to feel something. One day, the door to our gray room opened, and a new face appeared. This person looked at me for a long time. Their eyes were soft. They spoke those strange words to me. Hello there, little one. I looked at them, and for the first time, I felt a flicker of something other than fear. It wasn't the safety of the nest, but it was gentle. They reached in, and instead of grabbing, their hand was open. I hesitated. Every instinct told me to retreat, but I was so lonely. I took a tentative step forward, then another. I gently touched their finger with my beak. It was warm. They took me from the gray room. I was put into another box. But this time I could see out. The world rushed by in a blur of colors and shapes I'd never seen before. It was loud and overwhelming. I huddled in the corner, trembling again. Where were we going? Was this another journey into darkness? I closed my eyes and pictured my mother's face, the deep, intelligent black of her eyes. I chirped for her, quietly, under my breath. My new home is different. There are no other parrots, just the kind person. They gave me a new tree, but it's not a real one. It has branches I can climb and toys that jingle. There's a big window where I can see the real sky, a patch of blue, so big it scares me a little. I see other birds out there, little brown ones. They fly so freely. They sing their own songs. I watch them and wonder, was that supposed to be me? The kind person talks to me all day. They say, my name, Coco. They say, Coco is a good boy. Coco wants a cracker. I'm getting very good at their words. I can say, hello, Coco. I can make the sound of a bell. I can even make the sound the strange box in the other room makes when it rings. It makes my person laugh. And their laugh is a nice sound. It feels warm. But at night, when everything is quiet and dark, I still remember. I remember the feel of the bark of my home tree. I remember the chorus of 1,000 insects at dusk. I remember the specific way my mother would whistle just for me. And I feel a deep ache in my chest. I have a new family, a kind one. I have food and warmth, but I lost something I can never get back. I never learned the secrets of the flock, the ancient language passed down through generations. I never got to soar above the canopy and see the world as my ancestors did. My childhood was a dream of the forest. Now, my life is a world of words. I've learned echoes of a life I never lived. I'm a good boy. I'm a pretty bird. But sometimes, when I look out the window at that endless blue sky, I wonder, who was I supposed to be? Who am I, really? I am Coco, and I am a ghost of the rainforest, speaking in a borrowed voice, forever dreaming of a home I can barely remember. Wildlife trafficking steals more than just an animal. It steals a future. It steals a family. It steals a childhood. Millions of animals like me are taken from their homes every year for the illegal pet trade. Most don't survive the journey. Those who do are left with a lifetime of confusion and loss. You can be the voice for those who cannot speak for themselves. Support organizations that fight poaching and protect natural habitats. Choose to adopt, not shop. Let the wild stay wild. Thank you for listening to my story. Please, don't forget us.